Hey guys, TJ Dorian. Here's my case study for EDL 851 about the good teacher turning bad, where the stress outside of the building is starting to impact her effort in the classroom. So what do we know? We know that Miss Horton, she's a veteran teacher. She's been teaching for quite a while, even at the same school for like 11 years. And she's been a former teacher of the year, and she's worked with Miss Wilson, who's the school principal, for several of those years. Now, within this school year, Miss Horton has had several complaints coming from the parents that she is, yelling at the kids in class, berating the kids in class, and those are going not only to the school but also to the superintendent. We also know that Miss Horton's life is in turmoil. She's going through a divorce, or has gone through a divorce. She now has, it seems like, sole custody of her kids, and that's becoming very stressful for her. And then we assume that that stress is now kind of leading into the classroom. Also, when a parent came up, Mr. Stafford came up to try to get his child moved out of Miss Horton's class. She called him a liar, had a huge outburst in front of Mrs. Wilson, and that's kind of where our story leaves off. So not only has Miss Wilson, the principal, not only has she gotten this report from parents as well as the administrator or the superintendent, but she's also seeing it firsthand. So what do we need to know? We need to know Miss Wilson's observations of the class. It says that she's gone in several times to make observations. We need to know more about those. What's going on in the class? Is it group work? Is it, everybody is in pairs? What's going on in the class? We also need to know, what about the number of students? Are there 45 kids in the class, or are there 4? Is she in there by herself, Miss Horton? Is she in there by herself? Does she have an aide? Is there a bunch of behavior problems in that class? Are there, kind of what's going on? We need to know more about the specific class and the observations of those classes to have a full view here. Also, we need to know about the state that is taking place in, the as well as the district, the process for tenure, do they offer it or not, and evaluation of employees, of teachers. And then the third part here, I don't like how our case study just kind of leaves us hanging at the end, where Mr. Stafford just kind of gets up and leaves, and then Miss Wilson turns around and sees Miss Horton just kind of standing there, and it says, I think, standing there looking defensive. So we need to kind of know what happened after that to kind of help further our observations of this case. So our primary issue here are going to be the complaints and the observations of unacceptable teacher behavior, of Miss Horton yelling at the kids and that whole process, and just that interaction between the teacher and the parent there. In my point of view, or from my point of view, my belief, as well as I would assume the rest of us, is that is completely unacceptable to speak to a parent that way, and almost more so to speak to students that way. So my plan of action here, immediately I'm going to look at Miss Horton and I'm going to say, hey, we need to have this conversation. Are you good to have this conversation right now? I'm going to be assessing her behavior. If it looks like she needs to calm herself down, then I'm going to say, I'm going to give you 10 minutes. I'm going to go walk Mr. Stafford out, and I'll be back in 10 minutes, and we're going to check back in and talk about this. And that'll give me a chance to get my thoughts kind of under control, give me a chance to hopefully cool off Mr. Stafford, as well as hopefully be able to reassure him in some manner. And let Miss Horton kind of get herself pulled together so that we're able to have a productive conversation and not make things worse than they already are, essentially. And then we're going to talk about that class. We're going to say, what's going on? What's up with your class? Why are we getting reports that the kids are getting yelled at, the kids are getting berated? Are they running around like a bunch of yahoos, or what's going on? Is it and that whole conversation is to kind of determine those root causes of those outbursts going on in the classroom, and kind of point us down the path for the rest of the conversation, and to hopefully point us down a path to get this whole issue sorted out. Along with that, once we figure out that cause, once we figure out what's going on in the classroom, then we're going to create those strategies. We're going to get together. We're going to come up with a list. Hey, what do you need help with? Do you need help with classroom management? Do you need help with organization? Do you need help with, are you teaching a new subject that you have no idea what's going on with? What do you need from me, Mrs. Horton, to help get this under control? Because this is obviously unacceptable. So we're going to get that list together. And we're going to kind of go through this, series, if you will, this cycle of, we're going to implement whatever those changes are. I'm going to come in, I'm going to observe those changes. We're going to debrief at the end of it, and then we're going to review and establish new goals. And we're going to do that, whether it's twice a quarter, or whether it's, at the end of each quarter, whatever the case may be, whatever, our schedule allows for, we're going to revisit that several times throughout the year, to try to rectify this situation, to try to fix, whatever happens to be going on in this class. And then our fourth thing here, the personal issues, Miss Horton's personal life here, if those are the underlying cause of this whole scenario, I am going to kind of help provide some resources for her. Whether that's talking with our school counselor, with the counselor at our building, talking with a counselor within the district at another building, talking with a counselor from outside the building. Mental health right now in our world today is becoming less and less stigmatized, so that's definitely an avenue that I'm going to try and at least point a flashlight down, if not kind of give her a little nudge in that direction. And then childcare, if that's the issue, we're going to see kind of what the district offers. Do we offer after school program? Is there a way that the kid can take the bus from their school to our school, or figure out what's going on there if that happens to be part of the issue. If it's financial issues, a lot of times a lot of financial issues cause these types of professional problems. And if that's an issue, then we're going to get her set up. Like I know personally in my district right now, we have a company that we are partnered with for financial assistance, not financial assistance, but financial planning. To get her that help, to help hopefully start getting these personal issues figured out. Then down here at the bottom, got a little kind of asterisk there that if she's continually not responsive or unresponsive to trying to get these changes put in place and make some progress, then we're going to start having that conversation is going to start changing. I'm going to ask her to bring in, and again, this depends on the state and the district and all that stuff, whether she needs a union rep present at the meeting or whatever the case may be. Make sure that my superintendent's informed that, hey, I got this teacher that you were talking about. Here's the process that we're going to start. And it'll be that non-renewal process if she chooses to be resistant or continually resistant to these suggestions and this process of trying to improve. So this plan promotes the success of all the students because students need good instruction to grow. They need predictable environments. And I mean, we all know as teachers, if you change the desks, halfway through the semester, the kids walk in, they all stop in the doorway and start screaming about why is everything different. And so they need those predictable environments that predictability, that process to be able to be successful in a class, no matter what age. And then in this case study, we have parents that want to be involved. We need to foster that. We need to make sure that we support that. The parents know the kids best, and we need to make sure that we're listening to them. So what am I thinking? I'm thinking that Miss Horton's personal life is impacting her performance in the classroom. And I'm thinking that this is pretty accurate because we're getting this from multiple sources where it's not just one teacher that keeps calling up over and over and over again. It's multiple parents who are calling up to say that their kids are being yelled at and berated and everything else. What am I feeling? I'm feeling that Miss Horton needs some help. She needs some help professionally with kind of getting back on track. And she also needs some help in her personal life, because it seems that the personal life is impacting the professional life. And with that, those root causes, that's what needs to be addressed. That's what needs to be fixed. And we need to make sure we have that conversation to be able to figure out what those things are. And what I'm valuing, is the performance that Ms. Horton has provided to the district. She's been a teacher of the year. She's been in the district for several years. She needs to have an opportunity and deserves an opportunity to rectify her behavior and kind of get back to the successful teacher that we know that she can be. Unresolved issues. What's causing Ms. Horton to become so upset inside the classroom, outside the classroom? And what are the evaluation procedures in the district, as well as why Ms. Wilson hasn't spoken to Ms. Horton prior. It says, right before Mr. Stafford shows up that she was like on her way or whatever. But it mentioned several different times that she had already noticed changes. Why is it taking her so long to kind of address these changes? So how did I promote the effective and efficient management of the building? Being present in the classroom, being present in the building, knowing my teachers and knowing what's going on. Ensuring that the teachers are following good practice. That goes back to those classroom observations and checking in with the teacher to see kind of what's going on within their classrooms if there are issues. And then responding to the community and district concerns. Making sure that when those parents want to be involved, when they're trying to be involved in their students' school, career, that we are embracing that and that we are reacting to that, to those concerns. How did I promote the social learning? Modeling those positive social interactions between myself and the parent, between myself and the teacher, between the teacher and the students, between myself and the students as well, and making sure that the kids are seeing those positive interactions. Making sure that everybody's treated with respect, whether that's teachers, students, parents, administrators, superintendent, whomever it may be. Making sure that we're all treating each other respectfully, as well as fostering the development of positive relationships between all stakeholders, between parents and teachers, teachers and students, students and admin and parent, whomever it may be, making sure that we are developing those relationships, we are working together, and making sure that we're kind of all on the same ship as we move forward. And then here, how did I promote the academic learning? First and foremost, making sure that the teachers are following best practices, making sure that they're not yelling at the kids in class, making sure that effective instruction is taking place within the building. And then with teachers, once you figure out that they are struggling with something, making sure that we're doing something as administrators to help them grow, to help them get better, and to help them improve. Because ultimately, if they are improving, then our students are improving as well. And then last part here, using the community as a resource. Whether that's trying to get mental health help for Ms. Horton here in this scenario, whether it's just embracing parents as they come into the school, whether it's whatever the case may be, we need to use our community as a resource, build upon our strengths, and use those strengths to do better for our kids, or do our best for our kids and for our students. So, brings me to the end of our video here. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully you got a little bit more insight into kind of my beliefs as a teacher, and thanks for paying attention to the whole thing.